Well, if you've been following the news over the past 12 hours or so, you've seen some of the images coming out of Ukraine, and some of those are truly heartbreaking. And Adriel, as we watch what's unfolding in that part of the world right now, how can we best pray for that situation?
I want to read some updates that I've seen from missionaries in the Ukraine and some requests that they have for prayer. But before I do that, I think reading Psalm 46 would be good. And actually, I would encourage you, if you're a believer, maybe this week to pray Psalm 46 for those who are in Ukraine, in particular for the Christians who are there, but certainly wanting to pray for all those who are there and suffering. Psalm 46, beginning in verse 1, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. The nations rage, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come, behold the works of the Lord, how he has brought desolations on the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the chariots with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. I've been meditating on that psalm, thinking about that psalm today in light of everything that's going on. Some of the requests that I saw coming from missionaries in the Ukraine, one was pray for Ukraine to trust what is not changeable and to hope in what can not be lost. May the church in Ukraine be strengthened through this war. In other words, holding fast to the faith and to the Lord and to that which cannot be lost in the midst of these very scary, precarious times. I saw another update, a post on the Gospel Coalition. A pastor writing there, he's a missionary in the Ukraine, said, during this critical moment, our church, which has about 1,000 people attending on a normal Sunday, is also a place of service. We've recently conducted several trainings on performing first aid. People are learning how to apply a tourniquet, stop bleeding, apply bandages, and manage airways. These lay people aren't going to become doctors, but this has given them confidence to care for their neighbors if necessary. We have decided to stay both as a family and as a church. When this is over, the citizens of Kiev will remember how Christians have responded in their time of need. And while the church may not fight like the nation, we still believe we have a role to play in this struggle. We will shelter the weak, serve the suffering, and mend the broken. And as we do, we offer the unshakable hope of Christ and his gospel. While we may feel helpless in the face of such a crisis, we can pray like Esther. Ukraine is not God's covenant people, but like Israel, our hope is that the Lord will remove the danger as he did for his ancient people. As we stay, we pray that the church in Ukraine will faithfully trust the Lord and serve our neighbors. Really, right there, I think there's some helpful words for how we can be praying, in particular for the church there in the Ukraine, that the Lord would be with his people, protecting his people, be a refuge for his people, but also that he would use the church in a powerful way through these circumstances, that the gospel would continue to advance. And certainly we want to pray not only for the Christians who are there, but for all the people who are suffering under this war, that the Lord would bring peace swiftly, like as Psalm 46 says, he makes wars to cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the chariots with fire, that the Lord would bring that kind of peace to that region. And we continue to join with the people of the world and with those who are in Ukraine in praying and asking the Lord for his intervention.